Time for our day 14 debrief. We've got a lot to talk about, starting with Gavin's article. So Jessica was certain she was going to call him up and say, "Don't use those pictures." And that article is in the paper before she can even turn around twice. And it seems like a great article. It seems like it'll do exactly what they want. It brings attention to the cause, and maybe he'll bring in donations. But it's a great article. Fiona's excited, Mom's excited, and Jessica talks about this collision of feelings. So uh, we thought she had kind of put the whole Gavin thing to bed earlier. Remember, she said, I'm over him, not feeling anything. Now I'm wondering if this is one of those, where we kind of mentally decide something, but maybe the heart isn't on board, or just because he seemed out of reach, she decided she didn't care anymore. I don't know. Well, this is definitely something that needs to resolve, and clearly is an ongoing part of the plot here. So I'm very interested in how that will come out, because that encounter at school, uh, he seems to fluster her a little bit. If she really didn't care about him, I don't think that would have happened. So she feels kind of dumb because of how she's reacting, but you can't help, what your system does, right? You can control your thoughts a lot of times, but if your emotions react, what are you supposed to do? Anyway, that's an ongoing story. Really interested in how that comes out. But just when it seems like everything's going to go great, this article's going to, and the coach is like, well, we've made $40, and just you can feel all the energy drain out. Suddenly she goes from enthusiastic and optimistic back into running is a pipe dream. She's gone right back to that kind of depressive feeling. And there's Rosa. Miss Perspective. She's almost like the one that helps, or tries to help, Jessica get a grip on things. How could anybody complain about their legs not working right, or aches and pains, or anything, to Rosa, who can only walk with crutches and spends most of her time in a wheelchair? And here she is saying things like, hey, walking was a pipe dream, and look at you now. And don't look so far ahead. I love that. If you read Long Walk to Water, that's one of our books at my school. I hope you've read it. If you haven't, that's going to be on my project list for the near future. But there's a character who walks for days and days and days, actually years in some parts of the story, through deserts and all sorts of things. And his uncle teaches him the technique of not thinking beyond. See that bush right there? Walk to that bush and then worry about what comes next. It's really that kind of, don't look so far ahead. Just think about, I'm going to get that far, and that's all I'm worrying about. So Rosa is giving her some great advice. Jessica's just not really listening to it right now. Her hope feels fragile. Her emotions are kind of raw. She's just feeling down. Hank is all excited. This is going great. Your leg is responding well. I'm seeing lots of good things. But her focus is on the struggle. I'm still struggling to walk. This is terrible. And then we go into part 4. And I hope you noticed this. This one is called In the Blocks, or Adjusting the Blocks. And that's the beginning of a race. So you notice there was the headwind, which she had described, in the second chapter, as coming around the last bend, the straightaway. So it's almost like she's going backwards in a race, which I think is really interesting. And I wonder where that will end up. But you adjust the blocks to get your feet set to get a good takeoff on the race. What's the symbolism there? I'd like you to think about that. What do you think that means? I mean, our author didn't name it that for no reason. Adjusting the blocks. What is she getting ready to do? We can take some good guesses based on what's happening. But then at the beginning of this section, she decides to go out and try jogging. Again, she doesn't have the running leg. It's just the temporary prosthetic. And she quickly discovers that she's not really able to do much more than hobble. So again, she's kind of down. And who does she run into? She had completely forgotten that Rosa was her neighbor on her running route. And there's Rosa enjoying the day and tries to help her get perspective again. So, in our next reading, we'll see how that conversation goes and what kind of wisdom Rosa has to share with her. Maybe Jessica will start listening and kind of hearing the wisdom of someone who has had to struggle every single day of her whole life and has somehow maintained this very positive, rosy, if you'll excuse the pun, outlook on life. And I love that Rosa has taken this role in the story and in Jessica's life. She's not just a math tutor or a helper or a new friend. She's really kind of becoming her coach in a way, her life coach, not a running coach, just helping her get her head on straight and thinking about things. So we'll see how all of these swirling plot points come together the next time. Look forward to seeing you there.